objects in this world that seem alive. Not alive in the sense of movement or thought, but alive in the sense of intention. One of the most infamous of these objects is a doll named Annabelle. Annabelle's story begins long before she became a household name. She was a simple Raggedy Ann doll given to a young nursing student in the 1970s. At first, she was just a toy, soft, comforting, and ordinary. But soon, strange things began to happen. The doll would appear in different positions than where it was left. Notes appeared in her tiny hand, scrawled with childish handwriting. At first, it seemed innocent, playful even. But then the incidents escalated. Visitors to the apartment reported feeling an overwhelming sense of unease. Some even said they were scratched by invisible hands. One night, a friend awoke to see the doll sitting upright on the couch, staring at her. She swore that its eyes followed her. The young students tried to rationalize it. Perhaps it was their imagination. Perhaps it was stress, the fatigue of nursing school. But even the most skeptical could not explain the way the doll seemed to move on her own, or the feeling of being watched that never left. It wasn't long before they called in professionals, paranormal investigators. What they found would make even the most hardened skeptic pause. The investigators documented violent activity, poltergeist phenomena, reports of doors slamming, strange voices, and scratches appearing on the walls. A priest was called to bless the apartment. During the blessing, the priest claimed the doll began to move violently, and that a dark, malevolent presence seemed to fill the room. The priest warned that the entity attached to Annabelle was not a spirit, not a ghost. It was something far darker. The doll was eventually handed over to Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous paranormal investigators whose careers spanned decades of investigating haunted objects and location. They brought her to their museum, where she remains to this day, locked in a glass case, sealed and protected. According to the Warrens, Annabelle is responsible for several terrifying incidents. People who came too close, who tried to handle her, were allegedly attacked. Some were physically harmed, scratched, even sent running from the room in fear. Visitors are warned not to touch the glass case, not to taunt her, not to joke about her, because, as the Warrens insist, the doll is more than just wood and cloth. She is an instrument of something malevolent, a vessel for a presence that is patient, cunning, and relentless. What makes Annabelle particularly terrifying is her innocence. She is, at first glance, harmless, childlike. Yet it is this very innocence that masks the darkness within. Stories from those who have studied her or come into contact with her speak of sudden chills, whispers in empty rooms, and shadows that move where none should be. Some have claimed to hear her laughter, soft, playful, and yet echoing with malice. Even those who don't believe in the paranormal can feel the weight of her legend. Annabelle represents the unknown lurking in objects we assume are ordinary. She is a reminder that not all danger is visible. Not all threats roar or strike. Some wait quietly, patiently, until you make a mistake. Over the years, Her story has inspired movies, books, and countless internet threads. The films may dramatize her story, but the real legend, the real Annabelle resides in a locked case, watched over, contained. For now, because one thing is clear, to dismiss her as just a doll is to misunderstand the very nature of evil. The next time you see a doll in a shop window, or an old toy tucked in a corner, look closer. The eyes may not be empty, the smile may not be innocent, and if you're unlucky, the object you thought was harmless might be waiting for you. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. This is Cryptic Sense.